Are these some of the biggest crowds you've ever played for?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We've been playing, Sonic Temple, I'm not sure what the attendance was, but
It was 11 billion.
It was a sea of meat. It was a sea of people. You know?
Hey guys, it's Ryan from AMS. We just got back from Daytona Beach, Florida. We were down at Rockville, and we had a chance to sit and talk to our friend Nick Johnston. We talked all things Schecter gear, his new gig for the summer, and of course, teaching. We hope you enjoyed it.
Start with gear, or do we want to start with life?
Dealer's choice.
All right.
Whatever you feel.
Well, I mean, we know this as not only an interview. I'm also the Schecter buyer, so I know full well how your guitars do.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and that must have been a mind blower to you. I mean, considering that, obviously it's very heavily influenced by classic design, but you did some tweaks. Yes. Exactly. It's a beautiful SG, a Leo Fender XG. Yes. But no, I mean, you obviously had a hand in designing it. You use these guitars, and so tell me the process of going by and designing.
Well, the cool thing is, as of this year, it's the 10th anniversary, which is kind of nuts.
Has it been that long?
It has been 10 years
Holy
somehow.
cow.
I know. I had played Strats my whole life. And I had saved up for years. I was teaching guitar when I was in my early 20s. I'd saved up and I bought sort of my dream guitar.
Right.
And it was everything I ever hoped and dreamed. And I'd gotten really, my hand kind of developed and my picking technique developed around this guitar. So it was kind of like, this is the instrument.
That's home.
That's home.
Right.
And then a couple guitar players who were endorsed by Schecter at the time, Jeff Loomis, and Keith Merrow, who's still with Schecter.
Amazing players.
We became friends online a little bit. I was putting some records out, and they asked me if I was working with any company. I wasn't. It was impossible for me to get a foot in the door at Fender. They're just too big. At the time, it was like, there was like a thing where John Mayer couldn't even get a call back. So
right. Okay.
Your old boy Nick, he's not getting a call back either. He's not getting an email back.
That's all right.
That's fine, right?
Screw those guys.
Yeah. Anyway, not to say anything bad about them, of course, but
no, they're great.
At the time, I was just very unknown. So Schecter, they saw what I was doing, and they were really cool. They reached out and said, "Hey, we have a custom shop line that it's kind of unknown.
Yep,
it's what we used to do. Do you want to try one?" And they sent me one, and I left it in the case for about a month. I was afraid of it because I was like, "There's just no way it's gonna be as good as my baby," Yeah. And I played it, and it was the best guitar I'd ever played. I still have it. It was just a black. They called them traditional.
Right.
And it was unbelievable. And Jeff had just left Schecter to go to Jackson. So they needed a new clinic guy, and Schecter's one of the few companies that they still do that.
Yep.
Their international sales guy likes to get his hands dirty, he likes to get involved, and I got involved too. So he took me on the road, and it was the first thing I live in Canada where it's either too hot or too cold for guitars. We went to Asia where it was super humid in the summer, and the guitar didn't break a string. Intonation was perfect. Nothing was great.
Right.
And I got home, and he goes, "How about we design a signature guitar? We want to rebuild the custom shop with you at the center of it." I was down here, and their custom shop was kind of down here, so the idea was to kind of grow together. And we put the first guitar out, which was this green one, and it exploded.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being in my apartment at the time, broke as hell. Like, I hope this works. And then the Diamond Series model came out, and it just exploded because I feel like there was nothing really at the time using those colors with that neck, with that wood, for that price point. And that was the impossible price point. Yeah.
Well, Schecter makes a hell, and I think that's something that if you're younger and you're used to like the Diamond Series stuff and the more metal stuff, you don't realize that Schecter was like the original hot rod
Sunset Custom.
And they've gotten back to that really well without alienating what has worked already for them. And they have all those great metal guitars, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
And it's not to say you can't play metal on a Nick Johnston signature, which you can,
which I'm doing.
Which you absolutely, we're going to get into that. But I mean, point being, it's not just another S-style guitar. There are refinements to it it's a great trim system.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable fretwork.
Yeah.
Cool, like Wenge necks.
Frets are nuts, man. They're nuts.
And that makes it, I think people don't realize that. When they buy a guitar, they're looking at pickups or looking at finishes, and I'm like, look at the fretwork. Look how the nut is cut.
Yeah.
Look how the tuners work. I mean, the functionality of it should sell it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're sitting at home and you look at the guitar, you want it to look pretty, of course, but when you're in the throes of live performance, that doesn't matter. It's how do the frets feel? It's tuning stability. Am I going to break a string every night? Like you said, how's the hardware? It just so happens that the cross section is nice with this guitar, that both of those boxes are checked. and again, I remember first doing this and asking for certain things and being like, are you sure we can get this for under $1,000? I mean, at the time, I think it was like $649 or something like that.
Yeah. It's been a few
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, so that was the beginning. It just kind of started with them taking a chance on me, and I was so hungry. I said yes to everything. So many tours, and I did the clinic touring thing with them for 10 years relentlessly, just because I wanted to get the word out there. And I met all the distributors. And I felt like I really did it right, and all the while I was releasing music and trying to prove myself as a musician and an artist, but understanding the business and how to sort of like develop this instrument that could maybe be a mainstay guitar.
Right.
And it's now been 10 years, and that's kind of a test of time a little bit. 10 years is pretty good for a signature model, for an unknown guy, an unknown Canadian
obviously
dude.
well known now, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they took a chance on you. You took a chance on them. We had an interview with Marty Friedman a couple months ago. And he was saying the same thing. He was like, I'm killing it. I'm a good player, and I'm broke. I'm taking whatever guitars I can get. I'll do clinics. I mean, and these kids are looking at me like, I'm teaching at GIT, and they think I'm like living the high life. And he's like, I'm living in a crap hole apartment,
eating tuna out of a can every day.
Right,
yeah,
and he knew that.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something about that experience that informs the type of player that you are.
Definitely. I just love, regardless of the hardship or anything, I love the pursuit of expressing myself, and I think by doing that in an authentic and pure way, you sort of attract the right people. And the people at Schecter, although they're a smaller company, they're very passionate. They're very good at what they do. And
they're a pleasure to deal with.
And and they also have still that kind of like old school. We go out and we pound the pavement. We go to the distributors and we go and play in front of people. People might come to a clinic. In the beginning there could have been 5 people. By the end, there was hundreds of people would come out, and some of them don't know who I am. They've never played my guitar. But by the end of it, it's like, oh, we sold 4 of your guitars tonight. It's working.
Well, because it's a great guitar, and you don't have your name plastered all over it.
No, a little
signature.
It's not
an ego project.
Yeah, and the colors they've kind of now they're like associated with that guitar.
Absolutely, like the atomic orange and the coral.
So I'm really proud of that.
As you should be. Yeah. I mean, it was. You know what it was? It was just different enough. If someone's looking at that style of guitar, they might not see that from another buyer and they go,
definitely.
I love that. It's a classic shape.
Definitely.
But there's these little tweaks to it that you did.
Absolutely.
So, for the current gig, what do you end up doing? Like, because traditionally, I know you have a 3 single coil guitar and you had an HSS. Like, did you have to heavy it up a little bit, or
Great question.
Because you're bringing that flavor to the game, did they want you to keep it the way you were doing it?
Great question. So, I guess I'll talk about what I'm actually using on the stage.
Okay.
So I have I'm not sure what AMS has seen. Maybe I'm sure you've seen them, but I have the 10th anniversary models. Mm-hmm. So I have the gold one, the purple one, and the original green one.
Yep.
And they're sort of a hybrid between the custom shop and the Diamond series. It's got the USA pickups, a Wenge neck, ebony fretboard, the American hardware. So it's on that level, it's the same, but it's the woods and they're
more exotic.
Yeah, exactly. And the actual guitar is assembled at the same factory as the Diamond series. So
yeah, but that factory's killing it.
It's ridiculous.
It's so good.
But by doing that, you slice the price by like $3,000, so people can afford it, which is awesome.
Right.
The guys, Bill, Braun, Troy, have been so awesome to the point where I've just been able to do what I do. They haven't been like, you need to use this amp. I don't use any pedals in this band.
I'm just going straight in?
Straight into the amp.
What are you using amp-wise?
I use on this one. I'm using Bill's. He had it in storage, so he brought it. I'm using his deluxe Brown Eye.
Okay, yeah.
BE, sorry.
So it's a Friedman.
It's a Friedman Deluxe, and I just
a great guitar into a great amp and a good player. It's gonna sound good.
I hope so.
I think it's working.
I have a little reverb pedal, and I just turn on the amp boost when I want to do my solos. But that guitar has the custom shop that I'm using has a pretty low output bridge pickup. It's a humbucker, but I hit a little bit harder. There's a little bit more headroom in it, so when I do hit harder, the dynamics are they're more varied. They're varied. And if I roll the volume knob back, it's almost like another amp channel. And I've always used the sort of the guts of the guitar as almost like another instrument. I like using the tone knob. I like using the blade. I like using the master.
They're there for a reason, right?
Yeah. So I've always kind of tried to use those to make the guitar seem like I'm using more stuff.
Right.
But basically, I'm using a combination of my custom shop model and the 10th anniversary model. I'm tuned. Everything's down to D standard, either a drop C or a drop A. And they're holding the tuning perfectly, and my backups are the Diamond series. So
yeah, are you used to tuning that low with
never?
Previous? No,
never. But I've been working on this stuff for a while, so it's kind of second nature now.
Right.
And when I first started talking to Braun, it was sort of one of those things where I immediately make the shift.
You got into the headspace.
This is going to happen, so this is going to happen. Yeah.
That's amazing when you think about it. And obviously it was a hotly contested thing. Oh, who'll be the player? And it just makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. But it's also very kind of like, wow, it's surprising.
It is surprising, yeah. The cool thing for me, my perspective, they were my favorite band.
Well, they're amazing.
They were my favorite.
So varied.
Yeah, and I always think about I don't have a car now, but I had two real clunker cars growing up. My first car was I think it was a mid-90s broken ass Pathfinder, and the CD that lived in that car was Blood Mountain for years. And then my second car, when I was able to buy it, was a 2000 one of those grandma gold Corollas, and the Hunter lived in that record.
Nice.
So I just think back on these little eras of my life, and Mastodon was always there. So Braun and I met years ago fortuitously at an event with a mutual friend, a guy named Brendan Small, who plays in Death Clock.
Yep.
He was a bit of a mentor to me for years, and then
good mentor to have.
Great guy.
What a good dude. Yeah.
Great guy. And then Braun came out, and we just all kind of hit it off, and I mean that left an impact maybe, and we over the years we talked, and I think maybe the fact my thing is I'm not really a metal guitar player, but that's maybe what makes it interesting.
You know what's funny too? I mean, you could describe Mastodon as metal, which obviously there are very metallic elements to what they do, but they are prog, they are melodic, they craft great songs. It's not just about bludgeoning you over the head, which they can do.
Yeah.
And I think that they probably wanted somebody who was schooled and who could shift gears, and that's probably where you came in. But on top of it, not just the player that you are, they wanted to hang out with a guy they like.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge part of it.
We've been having a great time, and I spent a lot of time with Bill ahead of time, just kind of bonding, getting to know each other, and watching him work. I mean, he's so awesome. Watching him do his thing, and just how he prepares for tour, and how he prepares the songs, and he's just got such a great. He's been in the industry so long. The way his mind works, I'm just taking notes on my notepad. Everything these guys are doing, it's just amazing. So yeah, I'm kind of in that like sponge mode right now. I'm just and I'm trying to just do what I do, and do my best to sort of fit into that world, and it's proving to be pretty comfortable.
Are these some of the biggest crowds you've ever played for?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. We've been playing, Sonic Temple, I'm not sure what the attendance was, but
it was 11 billion.
It was a sea of meat.
Yeah.
It was a sea of people.
Yeah.
And then we've been on a tour with Periphery, which is cool because I worked with them years ago. I played on one of their albums and used to open for them on tour sometimes, so it's kind of cool to be with them again. And we're on tour with Coheed and Cambria, which is this massive band.
Yeah.
And seeing their production every night, they have this like crazy stage production, and how they handle themselves. It's awesome to witness.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So yeah, we're just doing a combination of arenas and outdoor sort of like amphitheaters, and it's awesome.
So let me ask you,
awesome.
So what's more nerve-wracking then, coming here and seeing the sea of meat where you got a little barrier, or like you're in a store with 100 people watching every move?
The store.
Is it really?
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, the difference is when you go up on play. This is my perspective, at least my current situation. I'm not expected to teach or talk. I'm not expected to play my instrumental songs that they're kind of hard to play because some of the solo sections, the harmony's weird, and sometimes I get through it and I'm like, that was dog shit. It's like hit or miss sometimes, even though
you're hardest on yourself. I'm sure
totally.
Other people don't notice it, right?
And you're also under a microscope. It's a guitar clinic.
Yeah.
People are coming. It's like all the lights are on.
Arms are folded.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got.
Eventually, over the years, I did like 70, or I don't know, somewhere between 50 and 70 clinic tours on behalf of Schecter. So I got used to it, but it took a while. Jumping on stage and just playing guitar, I can't see anybody's eyes, so it doesn't matter.
There's a little bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, it's just you can't wrap your head around 20,000 people. So plus it's different. I'm like, Bill's coming over to me, we're like having fun. I run over to the keyboard player. I'm like making faces at the drummer. It's just different.
You're interacting in a totally different.
Yeah. I love doing the clinics because it really. I was a teacher for such a long time, so I love doing that. And I love talking about music theory, and I love talking about all that stupid stuff,
the nerdy stuff.
Yeah, but I also find now that I don't have to worry about that. It frees up all this extra. And I'm just like smiling the whole time. I'm genuinely having fun. It's so fun.
Nick and I were just talking about that. There's sometimes you can go see a band and they could be great. They could be killing it. But you sense there's a tension or they're not into it or maybe they're fighting.
Yeah.
And when you see someone up there having a good time, it almost doesn't matter if they're that good.
It's true.
Which you are, obviously.
It's true.
But, you watch someone having fun, you're like, I want to do that.
It's so true. And that's how I always felt, too, when I'd see bands. Like, wow, these guys look like they're
having a blast.
Brothers, and they're having a good... Exactly.
And we want, and the people that are here, it's the same thing. So this means so much to people.
So
you
much.
see how passionate and avid they are, and watching, when someone says, rock is dead or metal's dead, it's like, it's such a lie.
Yeah, who's saying that?
They say it all.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Don't believe them.
And if it is, whatever, we'll keep it.
Oh yeah,
we'll keep the corpse.
Guitar's dead. Every time they say it, I'm like, wow, we just sold a lot of guitars.
Yeah, and we're at this festival. I mean, this is a big festival. But also too, compounded with the wonderful fact that I love these songs. Like, I love their music.
Well, that helps, doesn't it?
You go into like the Motherlode or playing Steam Breather. It's just like, these are, I love these songs so much, and to get to, I know how to play them now, and I playing them properly. It just feels good. So.
Well, and there's no imposter syndrome because, like you said, these CDs were jammed in your car. You knew this stuff. I mean, you probably had to woodshed for sure, but it was in your DNA. You're like, dude, I'm not faking it. Like, I have been playing this stuff for you, and so that must have been like a relief. Like, yeah, I'm going to be up there representing this stuff.
Big time, and I wanted them to know how much I cared too. I remember we were at one of the rehearsals, and it was the first time I was going to play with Troy. All three of them, and Joie, the keyboard player as well.
Right.
I remember Troy came in. He's like, "Okay, cool. So what should we be learning first?" I was like, "I got it all." He's like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "I got it.
The entire catalog."
I had it. I had like 30 plus songs down. Maybe not the entire catalog, but like
a lot
enough to where we could play the set
right
in one go. And I had it. It was like, okay. And they're just like, all right, we got it.
That to me would be, I think, probably one of the more intimidating things too, especially with Mastodon, is divvying up those parts. There's some pretty complex stuff in there, and you're like, all right, I don't even know who played what.
Exactly. I kind of had to reference some live videos.
Sure.
And Bill takes a role doing like a lot of the harmony parts and certain kind of lead parts here and there. And I'm happy to just if my role was just to play power chords, I'd be fine to do that too. But thankfully, I kind of have a little bit more freedom, and as time goes on, I'm kind of putting a bit more of my own punctuation on certain things. But I want it to be as like any job, you want to be as prepared as possible. And my poor wife, she had to listen to me playing these songs for over and over, but she loves the band too. So I'm kidding.
She's probably thrilled for you too. I would think
she's very, very excited. Yeah. Shout out to her.
Yeah. Love you, baby.
Yeah, that's right. But no, it's been a very comfortable transition from my little home studio to their rehearsal studio to the stage. It's been very nice.
Moving forward, I mean, how many shows in are you with the group?
I think we are. I want to say we're between. This is like maybe between 7 and 10.
All right, so the jitters are out of the way a little bit.
Oh,
You're gelling.
The nice thing is they're so supportive, and they made me feel so good. The first show we were doing like the hug before the show. I never had the jitters. I was like, oh my god, these guys I'm protected.
Yeah.
I got this.
You're a gang.
And Troy is like, I have these little pep talks with him all the time of just because he's just such an authentic, like, rock and roll musician.
He comes across that way. I don't know him, but
he's not on social media at all. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, just you do what you need to do. You do what is good for your mental health and for your mindset and whatever's authentic. That's what you do. I'm just like, oh, okay, Troy. Thank you.
You mean that, right?
Yeah.
Is that true?
It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I've never been in a situation where there's such a legendary, like, successful band, but they're so humble and so sweet. That combination, that Venn diagram, seems to be kind of rare in the industry sometimes.
What else is how fearless they seem to be. They do this stuff on their own terms. They don't kowtow to trends and all this. It just seems like, no, we're going to put out something melodic and proggy. We're going to put out something thrashy, whatever.
It's great.
That must be a real treat.
It's an honor to be around these guys. It really is. It really is.
Well, I think you deserve it.
Thank you.
I want you
so
to
nice of you.
Well, because it seems like when you see somebody finally gets that gig, you're happy to be there, and that's
thank you.
It's great. So will that influence the Nick Johnston album? Like, is it?
Yeah. The for what I'm doing, I have a record coming out with. Do you know drummer Gavin Harrison?
Sure.
Yeah. Him
and I. Tree?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Him and I have been friends. Kind of another little. I hate to use the word mentor, but kind of another mentor for me. I'd seen him and King Crimson had kind of parted ways, and he had an opening in his schedule. So I bugged him like, "Do you want to start a band?" And so I wrote this music, and it's going to come out next month. The pre-order and everything.
Oh,
so that's the next big thing for my solo world. It's called the Harrison Johnston. That's the band.
Makes sense.
And the record is called Early Mercy, and it's a weird name. And it'll be pre-order next month. So.
And so, can you pepper solo shows in between Mastodon gigs, or is it more like full on Mastodon?
Yeah, I'm right now. I'm just like full in.
Smart move.
I'm in the bubble.
Yeah. Stay there.
I'm staying away from the internet.
It's safe in the bubble.
I'm staying away from everybody. My wife will text me. She's like, she said, I saw this. I'm like, oh, don't tell me. She's like, it's good news. Okay, you can tell me.
What happened, baby?
Yeah,
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
We're out of milk.
I'm just kind of enjoying being in a position where I can get up on stage with my favorite band and try to deliver as best as I possibly can. Like,
Well,
the
the reviews
best
are
I
great.
possibly
Everyone's
can.
digging it.
That's great, man.
Yeah,
I'm really happy
on
to
the
hear that.
street. I hear this stuff.
Awesome.
I don't know if you do.
Also, I don't.
No, well, I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for taking the time.
Oh, anytime.
You got a busy day.
Anytime. I guess, we go on at some point tonight.
That's right.
We'd like to thank our friends at Schecter for making this possible, and of course, Nick Johnston himself for sitting down and talking to us. For more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe, and to check out all Schecter gear, come see us at AmericanMusical.com.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, man.
Thank you. That was fun, man.
I told you it'd be fun. We keep it light, nothing crazy.